Hello, beautiful souls. It's Kat from Elevate, my channel where we talk about recovering from toxic relationships and regaining self-love and self-esteem. Today's topic is going to be going through my routine of healing and how I incorporate different healing practices in my daily life. So healing to me is more of a lifestyle, and I wanted to just share with you what I've been doing to heal through my different processes of getting over toxic relationships. But before I get into the topic today, don't forget to subscribe. Please share this video with anyone that you think might want to start a healing journey, a healing lifestyle, and incorporate small changes, which will ultimately add up to big changes later. So, like I just said, you have to start small. And I think incorporating some different practices on a daily basis, little by little, will get you into a full healing lifestyle where you're taking care of your emotions, you're taking care of yourself psychologically, and you're taking care of your nervous system. So it's really like mind, body, and soul, and all of those things tend to them each day. So you can't just like go hard on exercising and maybe doing things for your body and then not pay attention to your emotions and your psychological need. I think you have to take into account that to begin with, there are three aspects that you need to attend to. So don't forget two of them and only focus on one. You have to do like a comprehensive kind of healing lifestyle. So just to start you out with my day, every day I wake up and I'm out the door by 7 a.m. on weekdays because I have to drive my kids to school. So I always have this time between dropping the kids off at school and when I start work. And that is like my sacred time. But just backing up, like even when I first wake up. So I wake up 15 minutes earlier than I need to so I can meditate. And for the most part, what I try to do every morning is some sort of Silva method meditation. So that's bringing you down to the alpha level in your brain. You could even go down to the theta level if you like really are, you can go pretty deep. And you can look online at Jose Silva and the Silva method. But I became intrigued by the Silva method probably a little over a year ago when I was practicing this meditation for like about a week. And then all of a sudden I won all of these things in this charity auction. So essentially, if you read about the Silva method, you read about Helene Haskell, which like an assistant to Jose Silva, and worked with him. And she became very lucky and she won all these things. She won like sweepstakes and she won, I think, like a boat. And so I was reading about this method. I wasn't doing it to necessarily get lucky, but I started to do this method and then I won all of this stuff. Like, I mean, probably like $20,000 worth of stuff I won at this charity fundraiser. So that was shocking to me after only doing this for like a week and practicing not for too long. So I was like, wow, there's something to this. Like, what does this mean? And I wound up, you know, practicing more and getting more into this type of meditation just because it seemed to have some kind of effect. And I do like that it relaxes you. So I have high inflammation in my body and the doctors don't really know why. So for me, I believe it's from trauma and I believe it's from all that I went through psychologically. But whatever the case, wherever it came from, I have to now try to bring the inflammation in my body down. So I meditate 2 to 3 times a day. So when I wake up in the morning, I meditate. Not long, maybe like 10, 15 minutes. And then I'll try to meditate for a few minutes after every time I exercise because I feel that exercise is raising my cortisol. And if I'm raising my cortisol, I want to bring my body back down and I don't want to have that cortisol kind of like running still and like going through my body causing more inflammation. So after I exercise, I meditate for a few minutes. Then at night, I meditate longer because at night I usually do a gratitude meditation. But that like the meditation piece is huge. I think if you read about the benefits of getting your brain into alpha every day, it's huge. I mean, and then also like anybody who has high blood pressure, meditation will help to lower your blood pressure. I don't have that issue, but I know some people do, so it can be beneficial. Essentially, meditation to me has been my go-to for trying to get the inflammation in my body down and trying to calm my nervous system down. And I feel a lot less stressed out, and I feel more even and calm. Also, I just want to point out to you, if you are meditating and you're meditating like multiple times a day, like I am, you might have a tendency to feel like you're kind of floaty, like you're not grounded. So you need to do a grounding after each time for like a minute, and just, or if you're feeling like kind of like your head's in the clouds, you have to ground yourself. So I mean like after the meditation, like during the meditation, you're going to feel floaty. But after the meditation, you need to ground yourself so that you're not completely in the metaphysical kind of world. So you have to literally do a grounding, which, with me, because I did study some bit of energy work, I will do, like the visualization of a tree trunk going down through me into the ground, into Mother Earth. So I do that because because I'm meditating so much that in between the meditations, I'm like a little floaty. Like I'm it's like sort of like the world is surreal. So you know that feeling if you've ever felt it. And, you want to just like kind of ground yourself. So you're back out in the physical, like feeling solid in the physical as opposed to like the spiritual type of realm. So meditation is huge for me as far as healing goes. I feel like it calms your nervous system. So it helps physically. I feel like it's therapeutic. You feel like very relaxed, especially if you get into an alpha or theta state in your brain. You get like super relaxed. And I just love all of the aspects of meditation and what it does. And at night I do a gratefulness meditation that I love, and it's just like so peaceful, and I can think about all the things I'm grateful for. In the morning and my other meditations, when I do my alpha level, I usually visualize the future and what I want in the future. So whatever in my mind I want to change in my life or what I want to achieve in the future, I visualize those things during my alpha meditations. So that kind of goes into my meditation piece a little bit. The other things I do are physical things. So I walk at least 30 minutes a day, sometimes more. Sometimes I'll do a morning walk early and then I'll do a lunchtime walk as well. And I think that walking, or at least some kind of physical exercise, is obviously super important. And if you have a lot of anxiety, and if you're like really like dealing with a breakup and you're in like a very like emotionally volatile state, I would say to run, because running really helps when you're in that kind of state. But again, like if you're going to run, you have to know, maybe meditate after to kind of calm down the cortisol in your body and just like chill your body out afterwards. Weight training is great. Yoga. So yoga kind of like plays in, and I'll go into that more with my evening routine. But anyway, getting back to my morning. So I get up, I do the meditation, then I get out of bed, do all my morning, get ready to get out the door, take my kids to school, and then I come back and like I said, I either do a walk, and I try to do a walk in nature if I can. If the weather's good, I always do a walk in nature because I find that being out in the trees and the grass, looking at the blue sky, like really helps to also be a sort of therapy, like being out in nature and just enjoying all that there is to visually see. It's very therapeutic, I think, especially when you're trying to heal. And then getting sunlight, like obviously, like, people like Andrew Huberman are talking a lot about this kind of concept now. But I've been doing this for a long time, and it's sunlight is so important in the morning. If I don't get sunlight, like actual natural sunlight, I will turn on a light box. So I have like a little light box behind my computer here that's like like a thing I got on Amazon. And on the rainy days, I will put that light box on while I sit at my desk and work for like 30 minutes so that I can get some sort of light. And obviously natural light, the sun is better for you. That's like what you really want. So every morning go out in nature, get the sun on your face. I do wear sunscreen. I'm not going out. I mean, sometimes I'll go out for a little bit without sunscreen, but for the most part, every day I do wear like SPF 45. So I'm pretty heavily protected from the sun, but I do believe the sun is very therapeutic and important for you to get in the morning. And like I mentioned, Andrew Huberman, he has a whole protocol. He's got a lot of different ideas about the sun, even watching the sunset. And I think that's a great idea. If you can watch the sunset, I would say definitely do it. I don't always get that luxury at that time of day. I'm quite busy with the family, but if you can watch the sunset, definitely, watch the sunset. And it's all about like keeping your body in sync with nature and how the circadian rhythm and how things should be for your body to be optimally healthy. So you have to make sure you sleep enough, right? Like that's a huge piece of this. And then you get up at an early enough time where you're getting sunlight, go all day, and then let's say watch the sunset, and then you wind down for bed. There's so many different things and so many things we know, like, okay, don't look at your phone late at night, or I put it on that sunset mode where it's like it turns more red than blue on the screen. So if I'm looking at it after sundown, it's already set up so that it's going to be less blue. These little things are like the little things that you do for yourself, and all these little things add up. So over time, all these little things will add up. What else? So in the morning, after I get out the door, I do my walk. I go out in nature, like I said. Then I will come back. I go get my coffee at this coffee place. And then always at the same place. And then I come back, and at that point, I do my breakfast. Sometimes I do my walk with my coffee. And when I do my walk, actually, I do listen to affirmations or inspirational talks, or just like really upbeat music. It depends on my mood that day. But I think like getting the physical walk, then listening to affirmations, it almost becomes like a walking meditation. You're getting like your subconscious mind is getting infiltrated by these affirmations while you're walking. And when you're walking, you kind of do go into that zone out. You zone out into that automatic mode. So I feel like the subconscious mind is probably more, the subconscious mind is probably more open at that time because you're in like that automatic pilot walking mode. It's like when you're driving, you're in automatic mode. Like you don't, maybe someone calls you on the phone and you're talking on the speakerphone, and then you get home and you don't even remember the drive from when that person called you to when you got home. It's because your body was like in an automatic mode, and it gets that way when you're walking a lot, you get into a zone. So I feel the subconscious mind is probably very like receptive. I guess receptive would be the best word for it. And so doing affirmations or like positive, like listening to something positive, I think is really beneficial for you during those times. After the walk, I get home, I get my breakfast together, usually oatmeal. I try to do something healthy and then I take a bunch of supplements. And I'm going to go into another video about all the supplements I take and why I take them. But I feel like vitamins and supplements and different drinks are and different things you can put into your diet make a huge difference in your mood and your health. I notice a lot of differences from before I did any kind of major supplementing like consistently to now when I do more consistent supplementing. So I'm going to do a separate video on that to kind of pinpoint out what I use and also why they benefit healing and why they benefit your body. The time that's after my exercise time to the time I start working in the morning, I usually will work on my YouTube videos or my upcoming webinar. And a lot of my creative time is at that time. And I think doing the walk, doing the affirmations, getting myself some natural sunlight, being in nature, it kind of gets you to a place where you're very peaceful and you're ready to create. So you're at that point. Well, to me, that's my freshest time. I'm the most peaceful. I'm ready to create. It's like quiet. It's a time where I can sit down and actually make things. And so I'll do, like I said, YouTube videos or I'll work on a creative project that I'm doing. And then I start working. So then I have my work day at lunch. A lot of the time I'll go to the gym and I'll just walk for 30 minutes. And then I'll come back and do some sort of lunch and then continue the day. And then every evening, my basic schedule is around 9 o'clock, I go upstairs and I play this very relaxing music and I do a short yoga session. So I will do yoga. It's not heavy, like it's not really intense yoga. It's like, 15 minutes of stretching because now like if I've been doing weight training during the day or I've been doing a lot of walking, whatever it is, like your body wants to stretch out. So I will do this very peaceful music that I love. It's piano based music. And then actually I'll link it below. So I listen to this most usually this specific, it's like a 30-minute set of this guy playing piano on a rooftop. And I just love it. And he does a few of them actually on rooftops. But this one I love in particularly. So I just love piano in general. And so you could listen to whatever just makes you feel like very chilled out and peaceful. So I listen to this and I do my yoga, my evening yoga. And then when that's done, I will meditate. I will do the gratitude meditation at night. And sometimes I'll journal. I mean, I'll journal sometimes in the morning when I have that period of time before work. Sometimes I'll journal at night. Just depends on how I'm feeling and if I want to be, you know, manifesting anything in my life, I will sometimes script it and be doing that in my journal, either in the morning or at night. But this whole process, also, I have at night when I'm meditating, I put on a salt lamp. Usually, I mean, you could put a candle on if you want, but I have like a little salt lamp, like nightlight thing, and I put that on. So I have this like very like soothing light when I'm meditating at night, and I feels like I'm basically winding down And I think you have to wind down before you try meditating. I know some people try to meditate and they say, I can't do it. I just can't do it. You can do it. It's just that you have to bring yourself down before you meditate. So people think like meditating is going to bring me down and like bring me not down in your mood, but bring, chill me out and relax me. And meditation does that, but you can't go from like up here all hyped up like to meditating and it brings you down here. Or most people can't. A lot of people that I know who say they can't meditate, it's because they can't get from here to here, so they can't have meditation bring them to here. Like they're not able to kind of like slowly come down, and you can't necessarily go from being hyped up to completely like thoughtless deep meditation. You have to like bring yourself gradually to that point. So I think like my process of like dimming the lights at night, and doing the yoga, listening to the music, then that helps me to slowly come gradually down to the point where I can actually meditate and get into a very deep state, like I believe I get into theta state. So, which is below alpha. I go into alpha and then I go into theta. You can feel it because it's like you're sleeping, but you're awake. So it's this kind of like weird concept. You feel like you're like as if you're sleeping. And it feels very relaxing. You're really like super relaxed. And you just kind of like melt into that, and it's just an amazing feeling. So mostly I go to bed pretty early because I get up early and I believe in getting like 8 to 9 hours of sleep. So I do go to bed pretty early. Like I try to be sleeping by 10. That's like my latest if most nights. I believe sleep is super key and important. And at night, I will listen to like different frequencies depending like on my mood. So 639 hertz, or 528 hertz. I think, I don't know if you're familiar with them, but they have been, known to supposedly affect DNA, affect your heart. So 528 is like the biggest one that people talk about that has been in experiments, supposedly has affected your DNA in a positive way. So I just listen to them because I feel like it's peaceful and I do feel better when I listen and then I wake up. Sometimes I'll listen to Tibetan singing bowls. There's some cool sound bath like recordings that I listen to at night. I don't really listen to affirmations as much at night, even though it is great if you can listen to affirmations at night or listen to like some of these subconscious reprogramming recordings. I can't because it keeps me awake. Like hearing the person's voice seems to keep me awake. But if you can listen to it at night while you're sleeping, your subconscious mind is so open and receptive to new messages. So if you want to reprogram limiting beliefs, like that would be the best time for you to do it. I just seem to not be able to stick with that because I find that I just don't sleep well. And then I wind up feeling like I didn't sleep well and it just sort of like messes up my next day. So if you can do that though, that would be amazing for you. You will see results from that, I believe, because it scientifically to me, it makes sense. And I feel like I have done it in the past and it did affect me in a positive way. I just couldn't stick with it because I didn't feel like I was getting the most restful sleep. So I hope this helped you today in understanding a little bit about some of my daily routine and how I calm my nervous system, how I take care of myself, how I'm doing self-love in a way that integrates all these habits just into my daily life so that self-care and self-love are part of my daily routine. It's not like I have to go out of my way or change up everything in my life to do these things. They're like small basic things And there's so much more, little things that I'll do, but just this is like a bigger overview, I guess, of a daily routine that would involve caring for yourself physically, emotionally, mentally. Other things are like reaching out to friends, like having connections with people, having conversations with people. That helps you tremendously to have emotional connection with people. Also physically taking care of yourself, like there's a whole physical piece to what I do, and I can put those routines into maybe the supplement video that I'm going to do about all the supplements that I do every day. I can talk about the physical things I do to, let's say, improve the way I feel and look. And I will put that in the other video as well. So I hope this helped you today. If it did, please like this video. I'd really appreciate that. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed already.